Hello everyone, Tails here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about ships. Now we all know what ships are. It's when you ship one fictional character to another fictional character. Whether you got introduced to it from Twilight Sparkle getting shipped with a regular show character Mordecai, or that you probably seen lots of art of it recently, like all the other ships that are like from other shows and all that. But today we're going to be talking about Saga ships, and then I'm going to go down a line of like the most popular ones that I quite like to the most what the frick have been people been thinking about doing these types of ships. They shouldn't belong together, sort of ships. Now, for the top three popular ones, we have Sonic X Amy. Now that's a ship that makes sense to me. I support it. Fully support Sonic X Amy because, in case you don't know, like Amy had this long ongoing love interest of Sonic for ages, and all that Sonic's been doing to uh make sure that he gets away from types of relationships was running away from Amy. But I feel like those type of shippers, like Sonic X Amy, just see Sonic running away from his feelings because he's afraid of like expressing himself in some way, shape, or form to Amy Rose. Because it does make sense, because they have interacted so many times before, but now in Sonic Frontiers, Amy's wanting to show the love across the world, and Sonic respects that. But I do still support those Amy X Sonic ships. Speaking of, when it accidentally almost said Shadow, next up is Shadow X Amy. Although that is like probably another timeline to where Amy gave up and tried Shadow the Hedgehog instead, that she needed glasses and mistaked uh Shadow for Sonic for some goddamn reason in Sonic Adventure games. Anyway, in case you don't know how old Shadow was, he was like over 50 years old in a space colony arc, and so technically, since he's been out the pod, he is like very young, but I guess he doesn't really have a confirmed age before they got all deconfirmed. But I do support the Shadow X Amy shippers, those ones who'd be like, you're a tough guy, but I think you're soft deep down. He's just like a hard to get guy, and I can see why Amy might end up with Shadow someday if Amy ever gave up and tried a new love interest to chase after. I don't really actually see it like actually happening, because I know Shadow acts tough all the time, but I don't think he's actually interested in love. But because he is like, that type of guy was actually soft deep down, I think I could see him steal Amy Rose to make Sonic jealous, just so he can prove once and for all that he's far superior than Sonic. So, number 3 of the ships that I quite have likes the looks of. I know you heard of Sonic X Amy and Shadow X Amy, but how about Tornado? And let me tell you this straight, they're both rivals, and they always butted heads. They never really got along, but yet for some shippers, like people being gay, so in that timeline, Sonic has feelings for Shadow, and Shadow has feelings for Amy. No, it has feelings for Sonic. My bad. Uh, um, and as we all know, that Sonic is probably bisexual, but I'm not sure about what Shadow's sexuality is. But if Sonic did, like, ironically kept butting heads with Shadow because he likes Shadow that way, then I see why Tornado shippers, like, make things like that, like, make Sonic and Shadow together. And I don't mind this ship. I support you guys for shipping those two. And I don't mind you guys being happy with Sonic and Shadow getting together in that sort of way, just knowing what their rivalry stuff is like. But I feel like what happened to get to that point of the ship was I guessing they had to have one reason one way or another about why Sonic and Shadow were shipped in the first place. Probably because they saw the Sonic X Amy ships, saw the Shadow X Amy ships. With like the Amy shipping with Sonic or Amy shipping with Shadow, they'll be like, well, we want to be unique and just ship Sonic and Shadow. That's what I think what happened anyway. And how about Vector X Vanilla? Let's get this straight. Um, it's just a one-sided relationship in that one. Vector likes Vanilla, but don't think Vanilla likes Vector in that way. Like, actually loving Vector. I don't think Cream the Rabbit would be very happy at Vector becoming the dad of the house. Because we don't know what Cream the Rabbit's dad actually looks like. We never got to see anyone's mum and dad for that matter. We only got to see Cream's mum. But we never got to see Cream's dad or any other character's parents. We have in the comics, but not in official games and whatnot. Actually, I haven't seen any comic of Tails' mum and dad, and because in any way, shape, or form, if Tails did have a mum and dad, it makes me curious about where they are right now. Off topic here. I think I can support the Vector and Vanilla shippers. The people who like generally shipping them because you feel like one day maybe Vanilla would finally like Vector in that way. So it's, Vanilla's helping Vector with the money and all that, like helping him keep the rent up because he's always a detective working and he's always gambling his money away. How else is he still affording a home and still living in his home to this day of the teen chaotic? So I think Vanilla's paying him off with her own money. I'm sure she could one way or another repay Vector in a relationship way someday. Just hope that Crane gets used to their new father at some point. Anyway, now we're gonna get into the what were you thinking ships, since I don't want to make this too long. And the ship I'm going to be talking about is Sonic and Tails. Let me ask you something. Why do you ship Tails and Sonic? They're brothers, they're best friends, they've been together since childhood. They don't see each other in that way. If Tails and Sonic ever saw you and say, hey, I like shipping you both, they'll probably think you're the very big bad guy sort of thing, a new feeling that they must beat up. Because I see them as best friends in good terms, brothers, and not by blood, but by choice to be brothers and nothing more, nothing less. It makes me question about where your head was at when you shipped Tails and Sonic. Even though you're like, oh yeah, siblings or dating sort of thing, you probably saw on like quizzes where you had to guess about if they're actually siblings or dating because they look identical to one another in some way, shape, or form. And there was like a 50-50 chance you would get it right. Like, even though Sonic and Tails look nothing alike, they will be forever brothers by choice, and I don't support anyone who probably does ship Tails and Sonic in a relationship way. Do you remember like Secret History Tales where he's like, if you're not my best friend, then you're not Sonic? You're probably like, yeah, that's the Tails I'm thinking about right now when they get on with Sonic. Why do you ship them? I probably should talk about my thumbnail. Yes, shipping Cream with Metal Sonic is wrong. Very wrong. First off, Metal Sonic is a robot. He has no feelings. He wasn't programmed with feelings. And, even though it's technically in Sonic Heroes or that one battle of Cell versus Neo Metal Sonic, where if Cell asked him if he ever experienced fear, Metal Sonic says not anymore, I'm guessing that means technically Metal Sonic does have feelings. All his life, all he ever wanted to do was copy Sonic in every way, shape, or form. So I feel like since he's like trying to carbon copy Sonic still, he would never get with Cream. He just probably wants to prove that he's a superior Sonic by getting with someone else instead, and not Cream. You should be ashamed of yourself for even thinking about shipping, Cream and Metal Sonic. He's an artificial intelligence sort of being who does not feel anything. He's a cold machine. And it's not okay to ship a literal child, by the way, to anyone. Except, of course, for like Cream and Tails, which I fully support that ship. Cream and Tails are both such young age together, and they'll get along so great as they grow up because they both are around the same age range for a good reason, actually. Because, at least I support the Tails and Cream ship, but not the Cream and Metal Sonic ship. Speaking of Metal Sonic, some people ship Metal Sonic with Amy Rose again. But I could see why. Like, the point of Metal Sonic is to be a carbon copy of Sonic. So I'm guessing since people like doing that ship, I saw lots of fan art where he turns into Neo Metal, and Amy's like looking up at him, blushing. I do support it. Even though he's like a cold machine and you shouldn't feel, and the point of him being like just a robot is just like doing character AI all over again for you guys. Like, how character AI sucks now. Anyway, let me talk about more ships I probably don't support. Actually, generally, every ship where you ship Cream with anyone that's over age of her. Like, if you somehow, some way, ship Cream with anyone older than her, for example, if you ship Cream with Sonic, or, do the Sweet Home Alabama of shipping Cream with Vanilla, then you should seek, help. Get a therapy session right now. Anyway, that's all the ships I could talk about today of the ones I like and don't like. If you liked today's video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more YouTube videos. I'm on the goal to reach 500 subscribers. That way I could do a Q&A. And at 1k subscribers, I'll do a face reveal. Does that sound like a deal? Deal. Without being said, Tails is out of here.